right, blessings, everyone. All right, there is so much to cover here, okay? And I just want to say that I went to see the doctor and they found a leakage. So, again, I just need to be, stress free. Like, I got to do all the right things and the right things will happen. He's not concerned about this whatsoever. He just said, they're just going to monitor it. And so that's fine. And, I just want to say that since the heart attack, I really slowed down. I've just really slowed down. Okay, so if I'm not responding, if I'm not coming back to you real quick, please don't worry about it. If there's any information concerning my health, I've already got that under control. I got Angel, my sister there. She'll inform everybody what's going on. She'll be taking over the channel. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. But everything's good and it's just a little slower, okay? And it's patience is truly needed here. All right, so I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And if I do leave, believe me, I will let you know what is going on, okay? So there is nothing to worry about here. This channel is very strong. I'm still here. I'm, again, going nowhere. All right, so now, I was interested in this a couple months back when I was talking to a brother, and in passing, we talked about books outside of the scripture, outside of the KJV. And so I went back to Enoch shortly after that, and I started to look again about, just to see, to refresh my memory. And what I found was a true awakening, and it was a revelation for me. It was everything for me. It was like the floodgates just opened right up. It was just amazing with the flow of living water, and it continues to flow, just as it is with Jonathan Nolan, Brother Nolan. It's coming in quick, and I'm sure we're not the only ones that are receiving in the speed that it's coming in. So anyway, I just want to say that everything is good. Again, you will be notified if there's anything that goes on with my health, and that will be Angel. Now, here I want to really bring this home. I received a video, okay? I received a video, and this was the video, okay? I received that in my email, and it was from my sister, Angel, okay? So I'm looking at this, I look at it, and I'm like, isn't that something, right? So I ended up sending it over to a friend, and I just left it. I didn't expect anything. I just said, okay, I'm just going to have to tell somebody, right? So I went to a friend and I showed it to him. But then I put it on the shelf. I didn't move with it. I just left it there. And so while I was doing that, because I wasn't sure what to do with it, I went over to Brother Nolan's because Brother Nolan was just coming out with all these videos and his findings were very strong. And so I was taking a little bit here and a little bit there, and that's how I do things. That's how I have to do things. So I was taking a little bit here, getting the understanding of where he was going and his findings, but I was being pulled over towards I Spy and his video concerning this astronaut here and his findings. His findings, he sees this fiber and it goes into her forehead and comes out the side of her temple, out of her eye, and it goes back to where it went. So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, isn't that interesting? The fiber, right? It's got a, and I went back a couple of times before I figured it out that this thing was going back to where it came from and that it had a destination. So I thought of this German guy, and his name was Harold, and I introduced him in the last video. And how I met him was when I was listening to a little bit of Max Spears and about the black goo. And that's how I knew about this gentleman here, this German man. So I also remembered the fiber on the tomato that he was playing with, that the fiber was responding to the finger. Now, whether, to the energy, whatnot, I don't, okay? So I noticed this and I thought, well, I'm going to go check that out. I check it out and I just almost fell right out of my chair, and it was fitting into everything that was being said. One, in the video that was given to me by Angel, and then I Spy's findings. So then I heard when I was over at Brother Nolan's house that Kleck had taken this video and really went with it, picked it up and he went with it. And he was talking about the colors and in the surprise about the colors, and he was trying to, talk about this. And we know through this German guy that the colors are important because it's all done within the lab, and this is what she's finding in the vials. So she finds this, and the colors are coming. Their patent is in Germany, and the owner of that patent is in America. Okay, he's somewhere in America, these people that own it. So we know when they pull up the vials, the name of those vials, that they have taken this patent because they show you the colors, okay, that are coming from these vials, and they show you the colors. Well, we know that's from the lab. Okay. So this was just an amazing video, an amazing find. And here again, you've got the fiber, and it moves around, and again, you can see this. Okay, so this is truly a fiber here. This right here goes in and then comes out right there. Goes up. I'm going back in over here. That's fiber. Oh crap. Anyway, you get the idea. Okay, I can't be playing around with this here. Comes through there. There, okay. Right here. Okay, you get the idea. All right. That goes frame by frame, and you can catch it, okay? And it looks just like this. And that's something, eh? What is that? I'm gonna be buying that. Look at that. See that? Oh, it must be a branch. I think so. Yeah, it's a branch. Okay. Oof. All right. Almost got me. Okay. And again, it's important to recognize that these are sores that are coming from this gentleman, this person here, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, but he does explain everything here. All right. Okay. So where am I? Okay. Now, again, we got to remember Isaiah 42:16. And I will bring the blind by the way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them. And this is exactly where we're at right now concerning any kind of moving forward when we're looking at something like this. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And this should give you comfort. All right, so I'm talking about Enoch right now, okay? We're going to go into what Enoch has to say about what is happening in these days, these end days. So this is chapter 64, and this is verse 1. In other forms I saw hidden in that place. Forms. I heard the voice of the angel saying, "These are the angels who descended to the earth and revealed what was hidden to the children of men and seduced the children of men into committing sin." This I would like for you to, again, just here's where you're going to see if you can still receive. Okay? So when I looked at the first verse here, and all in other forms I saw hidden in that place, I thought of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene here, journal. Okay, so Mary asks Jesus, "Will matter then be destroyed or not?" Jesus responds to her by saying, "All nature, all formations, all creations exist in and with one another, and they will be resolved again into their own roots." When I read this, again, I'm going to say it, it was Genesis 5:2. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. And called their name Adam in the day that they were created. So again, the woman going back to her roots would be man, the two becoming one. Not the new man, but the two becoming one. So then I looked at this again and I read 23. For the nature of matter is resolved into the roots of its own nature alone. For the nature of matter is resolved in the roots of its own nature. Metals, right? For the nature of matter is resolved into the roots of its own nature alone. He who has an ear, let him hear. Here we have verse 30. Matter gave birth to a passion that has no equal, which proceedeth from something contrary to nature. Then there arises disturbance in the whole body. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so in other forms I saw hidden in that place.
Chapter 65. And in those days Noah saw the earth that it had sunk down, and its destruction was nigh. And he arose from thence and went to the ends of the earth, and cried aloud to his grandfather Enoch. And Noah said 3 times with an embittered voice, Hear me, hear me, hear me. And I said unto him, Tell me what it is that is falling out on the earth, that the earth is in such evil plight and shaken, lest perchance I shall perish with it. And thereupon there was a great commotion on the earth, and a voice was heard from heaven, and I fell on my face. And Enoch, my grandfather, came and stood by me, and said unto me, Why hast thou cried unto me with a bitter cry and weeping? And a command has gone forth from the presence of the Lord concerning those who dwell on the earth, that their ruin is accomplished, because they have learned all the secrets of the angels, and all the violence of the Satans, and all their powers, the most secret ones, and all the power of those who practice sorcery, and the power of witchcraft, and the power of those who make molten images for the whole earth, and how silver is produced from the dust of the earth, and how soft metal originates in the earth. For lead and tin are not produced from the earth like the first. It is a fountain that produces them, and an angel stands therein, and that angel is preeminent. And after that my grandfather Enoch took hold of me by the hand, and raised me up, and said unto me, Go, for I have asked the Lord of spirits as touching this commotion on the earth. And he said unto me, Because of their unrighteousness, their judgment has been determined upon, and shall not be withheld by me forever. Because of the sorceries which they have searched out and learnt, the earth and those who dwell upon it shall be destroyed. And these, they have no place of repentance forever, because they have shown them what was hidden, and they are the damned. But as for thee, my son, the Lord of spirits knows that thou art pure and guiltless of this reproach concerning the secrets.
Okay, definitely there's secrets. Okay, so now what happens is I mentioned it to Brother Nolan about this man, Raj Patel. And in passing, I just say that I've been thinking about him and the book, the Vonage manuscripts, because I put the two of them together when I looked into Raj Patel concerning health, plants, water, and around that time I was picking up the Vonage manuscripts. Okay, so here's Raj Patel. Okay, so I was introduced to Raj Patel by Brother Nolan. Okay, and he told me that he believed that this is the man, this is the, I believe, Antichrist. Okay, and I went and I did my work, I due diligence, and I see nothing wrong in what and how and why Brother Nolan was thinking along those lines concerning this man. So I'm not going to go too far into it because then I'll be getting off track here. Okay, so I'm over at Brother Nolan's. I know this man. I mentioned him because of putting the health, the plants, and everything that I was working on around that time that I was looking into him. It was the Vonage manuscripts. Now I was looking for the book that I originally was talking from about so that I could show you those pictures, and I couldn't find it, so I was going through and this is what I found. I couldn't believe it. There was pictures in here that I hadn't seen before in the book. So again, the findings, like I said, when I said buckled up, because I just kept falling out of my chair every time I would come over here and I would find something that would make that connection. So here it is. I'm just going to say real quick that you've got the black square, you've got the paint coming through that black square, which has two paintings behind the black paint. The original black square has writings in the writing in the back saying niggers fighting at night, and then that was a response to another man when he said that niggers fighting in the cellar at night, in the dark cellar or something like that. And so you know that there's, white supremacists, there's KKK involved there with Malevich. Now, anybody that knows their art and masters their art knows Malevich. They know about the black square, or they should know. And so I looked over it, and it has red, of course. I would say Adam, right? Esau, Adam. And here you have a floating book, like the floating art that goes into the black square. It floats. There's no foundation. No foundation at all. Okay? There's no grounding here. You're just floating away. Okay? You've got nothing to hold on to. So then I look over here on the wall, and I just, again, this is where I get really shocked, because here you see it, it's like a can, right? It's like a can with print on it, right? Okay, this here, I'm sure there's a better shot, but just to give you an idea, right here, okay? Well, this is what I found. This is the Vonage manuscript, okay? And I took this from Wikipedia, and I'm just gonna open this up a bit so you can see the cans. Okay, you can see this. It looks like some kind of can, right, which you would see on the wall. Well, I took another look at this. Believe me, it takes a while, but you get there. And look, what do I find? I find this. This is what we're talking about right now, which is in the petri dish, what they're finding in the vials, or the vials that she had looked at. Really, just take the time and just look at this. You have the long stem here, almost like a head there, and then you've got that squid looking, with the legs, right? Okay, with the legs. Come on. And there's the long neck right there. Let's just hear what he has to say again about that.
Fungus, they have kind of organs inside. They have little red stem cells of an unknown species that are self-replicating as well. Little red stem cells. Fungus, they have kind of organs inside. They have little red stem cells of an unknown species that are self-replicating as well. And apparently they produce other structure. This looks like a sporine body. It's like the unit where the mycelium at a certain point is forming a mushroom fruiting body. And then from the fruiting body, you would expect the spores for the next generation. And this is a mushroom.
There you go, right? I think that would be, there you go, right there. So there's the connection with Raj Patel, the Vonage book, the manuscripts, with what was found in the vials. is found here. Again, you have the can right there. I don't know if I can get a better picture of it. Well, that's what I'm going to do, okay? So yeah, like, right? Well, isn't that interesting? Okay, so as I'm looking through, again, the findings of Brother Nolan, I find this. Okay, and just before I leave, I just wanted to show this one more picture here of the man in the manuscript. And we have, you know, they talk about the Queen of Heaven and all this stuff here, and this, here she is. This is what they show, again, this is the manuscript. This is the Vonage manuscript. And there's a ladder, okay, representing Jacob, I believe. And she is descending from this ladder, and she's a dragon. You could see the claws here. You could see the tail. You also see the bat wings. You can see that it's an artificial arm. There's no hand, which right today it's all about the hands. This is at the end, I believe. And they have no hand. You see coming out of her mouth, you got something coming out of her ears. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. I'm going to come back to that. I just wanted to show you the importance or what this manuscript is all about. Okay. Let me just see if there was some disturbing pictures here of the women in the green goo. You know, this is a goo, this is a bath, a ritual that they take, and they always seem to be going to their bum. Okay, but anyway, that's the manuscript. This is something that's been on my mind concerning Raj Patel, and then when I saw that and I put that together, you know, that was just amazing. So again, that's, you know, we're right where we're supposed to be, right? Okay, so Jonathan Clegg talks about I saw this on Brother Nolan's videos and his channel, and again, so I looked it up about the horn here. Okay, so here's the trumpet, and I'm just going to do this real quickly. I'm going to point it out. This is where I've gotten it from. And right here it says the sulfur was sounded to announce important days in the religious calendar. So I mean, he's telling you he's not Catholic, but yet he believes in this religious calendar. Okay, so again, it also is announcement of war, of war. All right. Okay, by the ancient Germans known as the Goths. Okay, for announcing meal times, other military announcements in tribal military camps. Meal times or other military announcements in tribal military camps. Okay, but still, okay, again, military, Goths, war, you know, religious calendar, right? Okay, so point here, all right. The Germans used it also for military, calling on but the military announcements on tribal military camps. Okay, call for war and religious calendar. Okay. Now the pa, like this is very disturbing to me. I might have to come back here. Okay, so let's just keep going. So there it is. The horn was for war. Okay, the announcement of war or religious important days on the religious calendar. So here it reads, and this is on Corey's channel, Jonathan Kleck's channel. Even the geographic bears witness to the truth. Okay. Well, let's see about that, okay? What bears witness to the truth? He talks about the river Jordan and Esau and Jacob on either side. Okay, but this would be his story, right? his testimony. Well, I want to give mine. So here we go. And see. Let's just see what bears truth. Okay, so here we go. So I'm watching Brother Nolan's channel, and like I say, I see this Jonathan Kleck is talking about a river, the River Jordan. I don't know exactly how he's putting it together, but I do know he's talking about the river, and he emphasizes this. So I'm looking at this video that Jonathan Kleck had put out. This is the video that I put away, and I waited to see, I just didn't know what to do with it. So Jonathan Kleck, when he comes out with this, and I find out that through my own way, I find out that this knowledge was out in 2017 and had more detail and depth of an understanding of what was happening then, back then. To make this sound like this is brand new and nobody knows about it was really a false statement and belief there. So I'm looking at this saying, okay, so I'm not supposed to look inside the vial. This is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at something here, but what is it? And so then I thought, okay, it's got to be the vial. It's got to be the vial itself, not what's in the vial. So I went into the scriptures, and sure enough, I went straight to 16:12. And the sixth angel poured out the vial upon the great river Euphrates. The river of Euphrates. And the water thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, okay, so could this Euphrates be Jonathan's Jordan? Okay, so this is where I'm at. And to that they would be prepared once they saw that the Jordan River or the Euphrates River was drying up. Okay, so, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Okay, this is a warning to prepare for what? Against what? And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So this was what the kings needed to prepare for and against, was the false prophet, the beast. And they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. And Jesus reminds us, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is that watch and keepeth the garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Here. And he gathered them together into a place called the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided unto 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before God, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And the islands fled away. Okay, so I'm talking to my sister Angel, and I'm saying, okay, I remember something about 4 angels, but I wasn't quite sure what I was asking. And I knew that I believed it was from a verse that I had read and written down, but I wasn't sure. And so I'm looking at this, I'm really puzzled, and I look down, and sure enough, it's right there in front of me. So I'm just going to go on. This is Revelations 9:14. saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Again, I'm shaking my head. Again, it's Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosened, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third of men. And this is what I found. The Syrian civil war has been once more taken a dire turn for the worse. The Turkey has altered its strategy against its opponents, the forces of Syria. President Bashar Assad, instead of simply aiding the Syrians rebels, Turkey is now also killing them with dehydration. The problem is that the brutal act threatens the lives of millions of Syrians and Iraqi citizens. The crisis revolves around the Euphrates River, which quickly became the Euphrates Creek when Turkey completely cut off the water flow upstream of Syria, reported on May 30th. The Euphrates originates in Turkey and passes through the dam before flowing into Syria and Iraq. By cutting off the flowing and direction into the reservoir, Turkey has lowered water levels downstream. Water levels in Lake Assad, Syria's largest body of water, has dropped by 20 feet since Turkey shut off the water supply. The Euphrates hydrates large parts of Syria. Middle East expert Daniel Pipes explained the looming disaster as genocide by the way of terminal dehydration. Cutting off all nations' water supply is potentially fatal in the severity and the discriminated in its victims. The dry and arid region of northeastern Syria will quickly empty if one of the most basic necessities of human life dries up. The problem extends beyond Syria. Much of Iraq's freshwater supplies originates in Turkey and flows through Syria before it is collected in the dams in Iraq. If these dams experience a sharp drop in water and pressure, they can collapse. Daniel Pipes said that if any one of these dams collapsed, parts of Baghdad itself would be underwater within a few hours. Within 2 hours, the city of Mosul, home to 1.7 million Iraqis, would be a Middle East Atlantis. Revelations 15:9-15. And the 4 angels were loosened, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea. This is Euphrates right along here. This is all Euphrates, which goes into these valleys and feeds. This is what 1.7 million look like. And then you have the river here, which is parallel to the Euphrates. These 2 rivers are the main 2 rivers that come together and go out to the Gulf Sea. Now they're saying that the salt water is now entering into their waters, and people are dying. They're getting sick, right? So this is what it looks like right here. So this is the Euphrates, and here is the Tigris. This is the dam in Turkey. This is the first dam on the Euphrates. Okay, so it's pretty big.
Chapter 66. And after that he showed me the angels of punishment, who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath in the earth, in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who abide and dwell on the earth. And the Lord of spirits gave commandment to the angels who were going forth, that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those angels were over the powers of the waters. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley, in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal, and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulphur, and it was connected with those waters. And the valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished, who led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth, for healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit for ever and ever. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit for ever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits, none shall utter an idle word.
All right.
Imagine you as a droplet of water that starts your journey, and you flow down between the two lands. One is Esau, one is Jacob. It's called the red cleansing along the way, and it opens up into the Dead Sea. Let me show you a thing about the Dead Sea. Watch this. You want to freak out? By the way, in Islam, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, Malaka, angels, God created angels to interact with human lives, bringing his divine message. Each Muslim has two guardian angels, one who records good and one who records bad. What have I been telling you? There's a good you and a bad you, a light angel and a dark angel. And they're saying, oh, in Islam, well, I guess your deeds have to outweigh each other. There's only one name under heaven whereby you may be saved. And that's because El, the Almighty God, came to the other side where you were carried away captive, to the other side, and he died in the flesh so he could buy you back from your deeds in the flesh. There's no other way to get back. Phi on the periodic table is iron. You know, iron mixed with the miry clay. I showed you the original Iron Man t-shirts that girls wear. It says the original Iron Man female from Genesis 1. The first one of the human race was a female. And it was a self-fertilized race. Of the human race was a female. And it was a Phi on the periodic table is iron. You know, iron mixed with the miry clay. I showed you the original Iron Man t-shirts that girls wear. It says the original Iron Man female from Genesis 1. The first one of the human race was a female. And it was a self-fertilized race. And then they were able to transgender once they were created. They could transgender, and then they could commingle and interbreed and populate, be fruitful and multiply.
Sorry.
That's why the enemy loves me so much.
I'm sorry for that, really. That was the first time I heard that. I mean, how could you not kind of chuckle? How could you say that without chuckling? Right. Okay. No, really, I'm sorry. All right. So just before I go, here is Euphrates and Tigris, and these are the two rivers, the two main rivers that they start in Turkey, I believe, and then they separate in Syria, and then they go down, they meet up again, and they come out into the Persian Gulf. It goes out into the Persian Gulf right here. So here they're separated, they come together. So this would be, I guess, your twins. All right, no fear, be love, and give hope. Until next time. And again, thank you, Brother Nolan and I Spy, for the help. Thank you, Jesus. Be good to yourself.